Okay, hello everyone, this is Mr. Ronan here again, and this is time for Let's Learn Manon. She's one of the most anticipated characters for me, up there with JP and Zangief. I don't know what it is. The first time I saw her, I was like, okay, kind of interesting, ballet, judo, throws you, kind of looks kind of strange. But the more and more I saw her on screen, I was like, this character is so damn cool. Just the style which she does everything, the way that she enforces her game plan by just sucking the opponent in, and the different animations she gets when she levels up, oh, it's just too awesome. And this is going to be some of the first times I'm actually going to be playing grapplers, especially when I do Zangief after this. So I'm not a grappler expert, but from the matches I've played with Manon, I think I'm getting the hang of it. So in this video, we're going to go over her strengths and her weaknesses, a general game plan, combo, and just quickly go over her buttons, just so we have a full idea of how the character works and what she has, and then we'll try her out online. And I did cheat this time. I have actually played a few sets with her already, just because these new characters I really don't know much about compared to when we were doing the Jamie and Luke and stuff. I'd already seen a bunch of their gameplay, so I didn't need to, try too much. But with Manon, I played a little bit, I cheated, and that cheating let me know that she's so damn fun. Oh my goodness. Let's just get straight into it so I don't stall anymore. Right, so buttons, both for standing and crouching light punch are really good, and they're both 4 frames. And as you can see, the range on this little poke is pretty good. I think it's a combination of the fact that she has this really weird looking crouch where she kind of bends forwards. So maybe it's not actually that great of a hitbox, but it looks pretty good. And this is just an aesthetic, but I really like how, because it's like a sideward slap, when you do multiple of them together, she goes back and forth, just slapping you back. That is just such an awesome little touch that makes somehow everything look so much better when you use this in combos. I don't know, it's amazing. But anyways, 2 types of 4 frame buttons, which if you don't know are the fastest buttons in the game, so it's good that she can do it from her standing one or her crouching ones, which is useful because if she's ever getting a combo that needs you to do a tight link, like off of something like this, if you're close enough you can go for something like this, and they're just really quick. And pokes are very important when we're talking about grapplers, because they have to be fast and they have to be not too awful frame data on block or hit, so that we can do stuff like this. Just a few pokes into some throws, because that's real juicy stuff we'll get to. Now her kicks are also really good, particularly this crouching light kick. You can basically use this like her crouching medium kick, because unfortunately her crouching medium kick is not the best. It's not dreadful, but it's a not cancelable one, which really kind of sucks. And it doesn't have any crazy frame data like Kimberly's does, so it's just okay. But the crouching light kick, it has similar range to it, so you can kind of use it in situations you would use other characters' crouching light kicks. It does cancel into your crouching and standing light punch, but only from pretty close ranges. If I use it from the tip of the toe, they're just not going to connect at all. You're going to be so far away. But it can match into itself, so it's tend to be the only thing that it'll work off of. So if I'm pressing it from this distance, I might just press it over and over again, or just do one and they're expecting me to do the second one, and then I go for a throw. Mwahaha. Unfortunately, its frame data also isn't amazing. It's -1. And on block, I think it's -5. What am I doing? Wait, I already have him blocking. Yeah, -5. So not the greatest frame data, but because it's cancelable into itself, you can do some kind of frame traps where if they're blocking it, they'll get hit by the second one, and it'll deter them from mashing for a little bit while you can squish in some throws in between them. But it's a really good button and kind of the main one you can be mashing on. So even if it doesn't if you are from a distance and doesn't get much, at least you'll be able to get 2 of them and kind of pushes you away. And if you are close, well then you get to go into a light and then, get some kind of combo, which she is really good at confirming off of lights, by the way. And the same kind of goes for her standing light kick. It's another 5 frame move. All of her buttons with the same ranking are basically the same frame data, but it is actually plus on hit, luckily. And it's got similar range, maybe slightly worse. No, basically the exact same range. It also hits low, and it's just kind of the same option you're going to be going for when you're not crouching. Usually you're going to be crouching, just holding back, waiting to see what they do or something, but you can do this one, but you just have to not be crouching, obviously. It's kind of good for when you have to extend combos, particularly off of something like this. Off of certain times when you get it, you'll be distances where you can't do any kind of punch, so you just have to extend by going for this, because it's a quick button and it's cancelable into specials. And you can go into basically all of your specials from this, but the main one is going to be these cartwheel kicks. And also, just checking in on the Daigo special, it can be cancelled into drive rush into light punches. That does actually connect, which if you're not aware, that's just a really important thing that people go for a lot, particularly high-level players, just like throwing out these and then buffering in a drive rush, and then if it gets blocked, then you get to go for pressure, and if it gets a hit, you get to go for a little combo that, you get some damage, get some corner carry and some knockdown advantage, and it's pretty good off of just a little light you can throw out that's extremely safe. Okay, now we start to go into some of her more useful buttons that, the core of her gameplay is honestly most of the time going to be with these, because when they're up close, you just gotta mash on them and go for this. Like, your strike throw often consists of going for these into, combo enders, or just going for this into a throw and stuff like that. But now we get into our mediums and stuff. So, standing and crouching medium punch have similar range, but what's good about standing medium punch is that it moves her forward. It's kind of similar to Luke's standing medium punch, where he does, all these step forwards, or all of his punches kind of do that. But it's really good, it has pretty decent frame dead. It's -1 on block, so it's super, super safe. And it's +2 on hit. So this is a button I kind of just buffer in a lot of the time. It doesn't have any command normals, which is good, so you can be holding backwards or holding forwards and press the button, and it'll still just come out like normal, which is good because it's so safe on block. If Jamie is mashing after here, it can be a really good tool for trying kind of baiting the opponent to, if he does like something like this afterwards and tries to press buttons after it, depending on how far I am, if I'm holding backwards, I can be like kind of out of range of pokes and still go for this. So it's really hard for the opponent to deal with this if you use it correctly. And what's really good about it is, wait, let's actually get it to hit. Hey, okay, that's fine. What's good about it is that it has a target combo. You can go medium punch into medium kick, and this is the first of her vacuum effects. She's got a few of them coming up, but we're just gonna talk about this one for now. So you go medium punch, medium kick, and it sucks the opponent inwards and you're left at +2. You can't cancel this into anything, but being left plus in the face is a grappler's dream. Not only just for going for regular throws, because your opponent can tech those, but for going for your command grabs. And because you're +2, and it's a 5-frame command grab, if you use the heavy version, the opponent cannot mash out of that, and they can't throw you either. It'll beat their throw, it'll beat their mash, they have to jump or DP. So it puts them in a very scary situation, especially when considering the fact that you don't have to go for the grab, you can just go for these pokes that we just talked about. So you can go for your crouching light kick or your crouching light punch into some kind of combo or a pressure ender, or just do one of them and then go for another grab to really make them scared about when that grab's coming. So that's the first of her vacuum effects, and this standing medium punch, is, since we're specifically talking about it right now, is just a really good button. Good frames, and also it's cancelable. So a lot of her other vacuum things, like this heavy punch we'll get to soon, are not cancelable into like drive impact or stuff, so it's pretty vulnerable to drive impact. But this one, not the case. If you do it and you see the opponent has drive impacted, you can easily cancel it into a drive impact, or cancel into a drive rush, into a drive impact, whatever makes it easier for you. But it also means that, like, you can use it as a way to link into combos instead of just going into this vacuum effect and constantly going for the throw. So it's just a really good button, good range, and good utility. You can either, cancel it to go for combos, or just use its vacuum effect to set up your grappler game plan. And yeah. Just make sure, this will be the note for all of the vacuum things, but just make sure you don't do it on block, because if the opponent blocks this, it sucks them in and you're very minus, so make sure you hit confirm it. So if you see that it actually hits them, then go for it. And if you are not sure if it's gonna hit them, maybe just like stagger it into itself or something, or stagger it into a crouching light kick or something, or even just cancel it, because then if they block it, you get to go for some pressure or get some combos. If you drive rush, cancel it. So there's a lot of good options, and this is a really good button, probably one of the main ones you're going to be using whenever you can. Now, I talked about that for a little bit too long, whoopsie. Crouching medium punch is another really good button, and it's kind of her combo filler, because as you can see, it's the only one of her buttons that has a significant amount of advantage on hit. Can you see my little cursor there? It's +6 when you hit the opponent with this, which means, on its own, you can just cancel it into your light kick, but that's not what it's super useful for. What it's really useful for is after a drive rush and you go for this, it becomes plus 10, which means you can link into your combo filler stuff that usually you can't in any other scenario. So you're often going to be going for this after any drive rush, and it's also pretty good if they block it after drive rush, because it's also just -1. So this is going to be your main drive rush button. It leaves you plus on block, and it leaves you really plus on hit that you can go into your main combo extensions with your slower heavy buttons. And apart from that, the game says it's a good whiff punish tool, which I suppose it could be, but I really like using standing medium punch for that instead. Now, for her medium kicks, crouching medium kick, like we mentioned, is not amazing. It's fine, but it's not cancelable. It doesn't have some like plus frames on block. It is quite safe, and it is one of the few that are actually plus on hit, but it doesn't really do too much. It pushes the opponent too far away to go for any of your grabs just by default, so it doesn't set you up in an amazing situation. It's kind of just there, and I think most of the time if I do want to go for low attack, I'll just go for my crouching light kicks, because they're a little bit less like stagnant. Like you can mash them into each other, or if you're close enough, you can go into combos. I don't know, I like it more. Standing medium kick though is actually quite good, and it's kind of similar to standing medium punch because she does this little step forwards when she does it, just like with this one. So it's got good range and it hits low, and you kind of use this in place of your crouching medium kick because it hits low, and like most crouching medium kicks, it's actually special cancelable. So I can drive rush cancel it or drive impact cancel it if I react to it, or you know, if I'm just going into combos, I can obviously do that as well. If I just want to do something simple like that, I can, because it's cancelable. But the main thing is that, you know, it's kind of like a better version of your light kick because it's a medium, obviously. So it's got slightly better frames, and you can drive rush cancel it for some good pressure. Pretty good stuff. It's just like a standing version of our crouching medium kick that actually works in the way that most characters do. Now, we get to our heavies, and we've got some more interesting stuff. Let's actually start with heavy kick because it's kind of lamer. It's just it's definitely her longest reaching normal, but its utility seems pretty limited. It's 15 frames, so it's quite slow. You're definitely not going to be mashing on it. But even using it from a distance, even though it has great range, on hit it leaves you at -2, and if the opponent blocks it, you're left at -6. And so if you don't use it with great spacing, like they could probably punish it. And even if they do block it and you have good spacing and you're safe, it's like, okay, for what? Like, I just get pushed back to neutral, and I'm left -6. It doesn't put me in any good position on hit or block, and the opponent can probably like really easily drive impact it as well because it's not cancelable into anything. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this button. Like, even if you drive rush it, you barely get 2+ frames. It's not good. I've only used it occasionally if I just really need to press a button and I don't want to do something as committal as these like flying kick special moves that I have. So I'll just be like, I guess I'll just press this and stop the opponent from doing something. But other than that, I don't rely on it too much. The crouching heavy kick just is basically a normal sweep. It has pretty decent range, just slightly in from round start range, so quite above average. But you know, it's still super negative on block, but you can go for, you know, cross-ups or whatever you want after it, depending on how far away you are. So, it's a sweep. Now, her heavy punches. This is another one of her key normals. So it's 10 frames, -3 on block, and 0 on hit. Seems pretty bad until you take into account the target combo that comes after it. So when you press heavy punch again, she does this grab in where she pulls Jamie back into her and leaves him at +3 this time. So, of course, going for a heavy version of her command grab is guaranteed. The opponent can't throw or mash out of it, they have to DP or jump. So it puts them into a very, very rock, paper, scissors situation where, of course, you can go for throws or pokes, or a poke into a throw. Pretty spicy stuff. And what makes this one slightly better than our standing medium punch vacuum, not only does it have slightly better frames on hit, this one's only +2, whereas this one is +3, but what's really good is that... Oh, what? Did I just get an achievement for sitting in training mode? What's really good is that it's super, super easy to hit confirm. This one is kind of okay to hit confirm. You have about 20 frames or like 15 frames to be able to press the kick on hit. because you don't want to dial it in case they block it. So you press it and then try and react to them getting hit. But it can be a little bit tricky from the standing medium punch. I don't really try to hit confirm that one too often, but the heavy punch one, you can certainly hit confirm. And if you aren't a huge fan of hit confirming and you haven't practiced before, now is the time to hit confirm, because this is going to be a really good way of learning. It's like easy and leads to a ton of reward. So what I mean by it's super easy to hit confirm is I can just press them really quickly together. And if you can see all my icons up here, I pressed it a lot. So I can press them like really close to each other, like with 5 frames in between each of them, and it just comes out instantly. But as you can see, I can also delay it and it'll still come out. There I had 26 frames in between it, and I think you can get a total of 30 frames of delay in between the 2 hits. 31. Yeah, so around about 30 frames you have to react to the opponent getting hit by this, which if you didn't know, that is about half of a second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in-game, that's quite a long time. So what you do is after you press this button, just hold down back, like your crouching state, so that if they do block it, well then, you're just sitting there, you're crouching, you're blocking whatever they do afterwards, but then as you're holding back, if you do see, oh, they actually got hit by it, I can react a whole half second later and be like, oh, actually, get back here, and then suck him in for a throw or a strike throw. So it's super easy to hit confirm, and if you don't know how to hit confirm, this is the time to learn, because it's going to be like one of the best examples of learning how to hit confirm a really simple thing. And yeah, that's basically it for that. I am also, because it's one of her best to neutral buttons, you're going to really have to make sure you hit confirm it, because you're going to be pressing it from distances around here where you're not going to be pressing anything else. Like your other punches are not going to hit, but you can fish for this. You can be like, go for this and be like, oh, that actually hit him. Cool, let me go for my stuff. And if they block it, you just have to be patient and let them take their turn back. And also, it's something I really like to do, including my standing medium punch. It's something I like to do after a drive rush, because as you can see, when the opponent blocks it, it's actually +1. So you can do it from a long distance away. And because you've added a drive rush, it's good on block or on hit. If you hit them on hit, I guess you could technically go in for a crouching punch into an extension like this. But basically, you just do the same hit confirm. You can get the vacuum effect, and if they block it, it's still beneficial because you left it +1. You can mash on your 4-frame buttons and the opponent can't beat you. So that's really good. And of course, there's always the option, if they blocked it, just go for a throw. Always the option of going for a throw. And then we've got a few other command normals on the heavy punch button. We've got this backwards heavy punch, which is basically her main combo filler, because it has a ton of hits done when you cancel, and it's the only thing that will combo naturally into her hit grabs. So it can combo into the light and medium version, but just go for the medium version always because it does more damage. And only on something like a drive rush will it connect into the heavy one, which does slightly more damage. But most of the time it's going to be like, after a drive rush button, you go into this, into your grab, and that's going to be a great way of ending your combos, because you build your metal and you get a decent knockdown to go dashing in for more of your Manon stuff. And then also off of this, we have the crouching heavy punch. And this is a crouching heavy punch. It's a little bit different to some others. It basically only has the property of being an anti-air, whereas some other characters use it as combo filler. Hers, on the other hand, is not cancelable into anything, not into supers, not into special moves, but it is actually cancelable into pressing heavy punch again. It's another one that has a follow-up with the exact same button, and it's kind of another one of her vacuum effects. On the ground, it's not too good. I guess it's kind of cool that it leaves you +1 in their face, so if you do get it on a grounded opponent, it's also kind of good. But what makes it really good is, I wish I could make him jump forward easily, but if the opponent is jumping at me, this thing is so good at just snatching them out of the air. And if you press it, as you can see, the follow-up just slams them down onto the ground. And, slamming someone on the ground with a long knockdown right in front of you as a grappler is the dream. So I can easily go for strike throw, and they're just left right on top of me. So anytime I anti-air their opponent, just boom boom, slap them right, get out of that sky. And it doesn't look too astonishing, but the hitbox on this thing is amazing. If Jamie is jumping at an angle, I don't know if I can easily get him to jump at different angles. But even if he was jumping towards me, it's got great, horizontal and vertical hitbox. It's like hits really decently far in front of her, which she's certainly not lacking in anti-air. She does have great options like this. But this one, just being one button, means you can super easily be the oh, boom, boom, and then you get a great knockdown and you can go for your strike throw. It's really good. Oh, and there's one target combo I forgot to mention. There's back medium kick into medium kick again. And this is actually a really cool target combo, and it's one that when I saw originally, it looked a little bit gimmicky, but it ends up actually being a really vital or a really useful part of my game plan when I'm playing with Manon. So it's the only kind of traditional target combo that she has, because you can cancel it into special moves afterwards. Usually, you know, it's just a vacuum into the throws and stuff. This one you can actually cancel and extend your combos and use it really usefully. And as you can see, the second hit there is actually an overhead. So you can... This just has a lot of uses, and I'm going to quickly try and go through all of them before it's sounding too ridiculous. So the second hit is an overhead, so you can use it as a mix-up, and the second hit is cancelable, so even if they do block it, you can just extend and go for more pressure, and if they do get hit by it, you get to go for combos. Really lovely. You don't even have to go for drive rush. You can go for cheaper combos like this, which do lovely damage for 2 bars and a decent amount of corner carry. So it's a really, really good target combo on block or on hit because of this overhead. But if I have him not blocking as well... Oh, and the one unfortunate thing I forgot to mention is that the first hit cannot be cancelled. The second hit can be in the attack string, so that's really good for extending things. But you can't cancel off with the first hit, so you can't cancel it into this like low sweep that we have. So you can't go overhead low mix. This isn't Mortal Kombat X. So, but you can lead to some mix because the overhead comes out pretty delayed. It's like, then bam, she hits you with that kick. But you can do this and then go for a crouching light kick. And depending on how close you are, the crouching light kick might be able to cancel into your crouching light punch, and you get a combo because the opponent was expecting this overhead to come out, but you just staggered into a low. And also because they might be really scared of that overhead, any type of fear in a grappler's mind means that you use that fear to go for a throw. So they're like, oh, overhead? No. Grab. Stagger into a grab is what we're always going for, especially considering how great the frame data is. It's only -3, so super safe, and the opponent is most often going to be expecting this overhead to come out. So having great frame data, in combination with the fact to be able to go for overhead, low, or throw afterwards, is really, really good. Also on hit, it is on its own, plus... Oh no, it is actually -1. Because sometimes I go for this after a drive rush, just as a little bit of an interesting option to get in on my opponent, because if they do block it, I'm left at +1, and, you know, I can go for it into itself again, itself again. It's really good. And another good thing about it is, let me have him block all, and I can have him mash against me. This is actually a really good way of fishing out your opponent mashing on you. Because as you can see, there's a little gap at the bottom there, and the opponent can mash, which can be bad, because if the opponent goes for a DP, then I guess you get hit by a DP. Totally fine against drive impact though, because the second hit, as we mentioned, is cancelable, so I can just cancel into a drive impact and easily react to that. The only thing is that they can DP, but that doesn't really matter. But what's really good is when I'm using this, like maybe after a jump in or something, it is just a great way of beating someone that's just trying to mash after your stuff, because people mash like hell against grapplers. They're either trying to mash or they're trying to jump so hard, and this will just catch either of those options. And if they mash, well then you get to go for a combo. I'm not sure if you actually get anything for free after this. I don't think the frames are that good. No, you're still -1, so you do have to cancel it. But it's a great overhead. It has a lot of utility. It leads to mix-ups, pressure, strike throw. It's good for beating mashing opponents. It really just does a lot, and it's kind of her only traditional target combo, so you can also just use it for combo filler after any kind of jump in or whatever. It's a really, really good target combo that I suggest you don't sleep on. Because it's like, makes it a lot easier to hit confirm as well. When you have something that's too hitting, you don't have to do like a single button into a drive rush. You can just go for this and be like, oh yeah, that definitely hit. And then go for your combo. Pretty cool. And you don't even have to drive rush because it's so easily to cancel. You can go into more risky combo starters like this, which are a lot more minus, but doesn't cost as much stuff. It's just really good. I'm gonna stop talking about it, but it's really, really good, and I like to talk about it. Okay, so I think that's all of her buttons. Oh yeah, just quickly mention her drive impact is kind of jury level. It's decently fast, it's on the slower side, but considering how long its range is, it's a really good drive impact. If you didn't know, there are some characters that have slightly longer or less reaching drive impacts, and hers is one that reaches just a micro step in from round start distance. So if you just do a tiny step forwards, you'll hit them from round start, and you might be using this a lot, especially if you're struggling in neutral with doing some random stuff. You can just throw in this other crazy random option, and I don't even need to explain why drive impact is good. We know why they're good. But she has a particularly good one, and she gets good combos off of it, so I just thought I'd mention that as well. Also, something that's not so good is her drive rush, because the beginning of it is just really slow. So if I'm trying to get in on my opponent, like quickly get them drive rush, into a button, I kind of don't get to him really fast. I have to like wait for this like do, and then I'm onto him, which can lead to some kind of tricky stuff after my knockdowns, because it means I can't get particularly close after I get some kind of command grab. I have to kind of deal with being a decent distance away. I mean, it's not that bad. It makes sense why she would have it, but it's just something to note that your drive rush is not going to be as fast as you're used to with other characters. And yeah, I think that's probably all of her normal stuff. So now let's talk about our special moves. And I think let's just start with a command grab. So her command grab works quite differently to Zangief's, where Zangief has a change of distance and damage depending on the levels of strength button that you use. Her light, medium, and heavy version only changes the distance and startup. The damage is all the same. So the light version is actually the longest reaching and reaches from about around here. So super, super, super long reaching, but it's 10 frames. Medium version is faster at 8 frames, and the heavy version is only 5 frames, but it has really short distance. And I think the easiest way to show this is that off of like 3 crouching punches, the light one will connect. Oops. Where the others don't. And you can connect them maybe after 2 of these, you can get the medium one, and after 1 poke, you can get the heavy one. So that's just a good way of kind of measuring or expecting the distance that each one will hit. And obviously you want to go for the one that has the shortest startup, depending on what the distance is. So if I am trying to throw one out from here, of course I'm just going to do the light one. Even though it's slower, it's fast considering how far away I am when I'm doing this. But if I am close to the opponent, and particularly after I've used these vacuum things, you're always going to want to use the heavy version, because if you use the light version here, it's 10 frames of startup, the opponent can actually mash out of that, or throw you, or do anything. So you want to make sure you're using the heavy version here, so that they can't do anything except jump, or use an invincible. So, yeah. Also, the OD version kind of just has really, really nice range and is decently fast with 8 frames, so it's kind of, the middle ground, like most OD command grabs are. And yeah, after you get this knockdown, she actually has pretty decent Oki. There's a hard knockdown, so the opponent can't roll away, so it's always going to be the exact same scenario, which makes it pretty easy to get used to, because you don't have to adjust for like, oh, they rolled back this time, I don't know what I go for here. Every time you go for command grab, you're going to have the exact same situation. You just have to rotate through what you want to do. So some of my favorite options are drive rush medium punch or drive rush heavy punch, because as we mentioned, if you get these, and you see they get hit, well then you can just loop the situation again, and if he does block, you'd be left at +1, but you're not super close, but hey, at least being left +1, you are technically at advantage, so you can go into your other buttons, like this 7 frame button here will probably beat out anything the opponent wants to do from +1 at this distance, so it's pretty good. And basically the exact same thing goes for drive rush into medium punch, but I find it kind of useful as well because of its extra cancelability, so if I do want to go for this, and then maybe if the opponent does a drive impact, I can cancel into a drive impact or another drive rush or something. But since we're talking about this, how do I get him to do a reversal drive impact? Going for the heavy punch version is actually drive impact safe. So you don't have to be too worried about that, which was something I was a little bit concerned about. I thought I was just waiting for the opponent to drive impact me. But as you can see, if I don't do the follow-up, I can block and drive impact. And because I can block it, I can also do my own and counter it. So that's actually really good. Just dashing in for this and just seeing what's going on if the opponent blocks, then you, I don't know, go for some stagger pressure, go into your OD command grab, and if they get hit by it, you do the follow-up, and if you see there's a massive drive impact flying towards you, well then you can just really lightly press your own drive impact, and you don't even really have to react to it. So, super good options. Great command grabs. And, yeah, they're also kind of what you're gonna often be doing after drive impact. For a super simple combo, just go into your heavy command grab or whatever, and it'll do a nice chunk of damage and up your metal gauges. Now, I guess we talk about the metal gauges now. As you can see in the top left of the screen, if you know a bunch about Manon, you probably know about this already, but I'll just quickly mention it. She's got these medals that she builds every time she goes for a grab. So if I get my command grab or my other hit grab, like this one, as you can see, the number goes up when you complete the grab. Now this only works for those two special moves. My regular grab or anything else is not going to build this medal, but as you can see, as the medal gets higher and higher, basically my grabs do more damage and just become generally better. They do get different animations as well. So level 1 and level 2 will have the same animation where, you know, she just grabs you, throws you away, but then now that we're on level 3 and 4, we get a new animation where we throw them to the ground. And then when you're on level 5, you do tons of damage and you get this gorgeous cinematic animation. It's a ridiculous amount of damage. And yeah, basically the damage increases incrementally and it increases more and more as you go. Like the change from 4 to 5 is a really big difference. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's simple enough to note that higher the medals mean you're going to do more damage with your throws, which kind of incentivizes you to go for more throws and end your combos and things that may be slightly less damaging, but let you go for a throw to build up your medal system so you know that next time you get a throw, it'll do a ridiculous amount of damage. And the same goes for the damage and animation changes for your hit throw. So on level 1 and level 2, it looks the same, but now they're on level 3. It'll have a different animation, and every time I do this, it's doing more and more damage. And on the 5th version, a beautiful cinematic with a bunch of extra damage. Okay, and now we may as well just talk about the hit throw itself now that we've talked about the medals. So the hit throw acts quite differently to the command grab. Obviously, it's not a command grab, it's just a physical hit. It's kind of just like a punch or something, where once it hits them, then you go into the animation. If they block it, it just acts like anything else. But it's super punishable, so don't let them block it. And there's the 3 levels, and the 3 levels also act differently to the command grab because these changed the startup time and also changed the damage of them. So as you can see, the light one there did so much damage, and the heavy version here is slower, but it did a bunch more damage. So whenever you can, you just want to go into the heaviest version you can. Like after this, I always go into the medium version instead of the light version because the medium just does more damage. I believe their knockdown advantage is all the exact same. Let me just check one more time with the heavy one. Yep, so the only thing it changes is the damage and the speed. Which, yeah, okay, always just go for the more damaging one you can in whatever combo. And there's a few extra little finicky or interesting things about these hit grabs. So not only do they also build your metal gauge, so anytime you're going for a combo, you may as well just go into a combo ender that ends in this, even if it's not going to maybe be the most damage, even though generally I think it is. It also builds up her metal so that whenever you go for it or your command grab in the future, you get more and more damage. But there's more things about this. So for example, if I hold down the button, she just doesn't do the hit throw. So if I do accidentally cancel it off of something and I'm like, oh wait, that's not actually going to connect, I can just hold down the button and she'll just do a little bit twirl and stop. And now this is very gimmicky. It's not something you can do in like loop pressure over and over and over again, but it is a good way of kind of keeping yourself slightly safe. Or off of certain situations, I can see how your opponent might get caught off by this and you could go for some sneaky stuff. But don't rely on it too much, it's a little risky. What makes it... I'll talk about projectiles soon because I have Jamie on the other side of the screen. But also, you can see these frames on the bottom here. They are your projectile invulnerability frames. So as you can go through this, I can hold it down and I can just spin through projectiles or spin through them and then get the throw. And I also... So not only can you do the throw follow-up, but just doing the input, you can hold down the buttons to make it a feint, but you can also press kick afterwards, and she'll do this kick instead of doing the throw, which is kind of interesting, and this kick has a lot of strange properties. Like, it puts the opponent in this like juggle state where you can actually just go for a drive rush afterwards. And like, depending on where you are, you'll get different kinds of combos. I'm pretty sure you can get stuff like this off of it. Yeah, so you can extend off of it with the drive rush, which is pretty interesting. And the OD version puts the opponent into a special juggle state where you can actually hit them with normals as well, so you don't even have to go for a drive rush. So if I hit the opponent and get like a juggle like this, as you can see, I can go for my suction things or anything kind of interesting like this. So that, I feel like there's a lot of potential for some interesting combo choices with her here, especially like in the corner. Like, both hits of your like target combos are gonna connect and you can go for stuff. I don't know, it seems really interesting. So that's kind of cool, and it is kind of safe on block if my opponent ends up blocking this. Oh, okay, the OD version definitely not, but I feel like some of the other versions I remember being slightly plus. I mean, not plus, but slightly safe. Okay, yeah, -5, so if you don't use it right in their face and he blocks it from around this distance, you might be safe. And as you can see, if you get a hit, then you can just drive rush for free and get a combo afterwards, which is kind of cool for an easy hit confirm, especially considering the fact that it can go through projectiles and it reaches really far, round star distance from the light version. That's pretty cool. So go through a projectile, get the kick, and then try and drive rush in a combo, but I imagine it's not going to work from really far distances. But you'll be able to go into other stuff like this, or your suuuper. And I think I'll just quickly change to a character with projectiles, just so you can see it in action. So Guile's throwing a sonic boom now on Wake Up, and as you can see, I just twirl right through the projectile. The unfortunate thing though is when you do the cancel, it does also decrease the amount of projectile invulnerability, so you have to time it pretty well. Otherwise, you will still get hit by them, which I guess with Guile as an example makes it pretty rough because he's got a slow traveling projectile, so I kind of recover while it's still hitting me. But as you can see, if you do time it perfectly, you can just twirl straight through it, and I imagine the same applies for going for the kick. And then you get a punish counter, and I imagine you get a huge combo. You actually get the automatic juggle properties from the punish counter. So you don't even have to drive rush it, like I just did there for some reason. Oops, no! Damn it. As you can see there, I can juggle without even having to drive rush, so that could be actually a good answer. I should try that a little bit more, because it reaches really far, and let's just try one more time to see how strict the timing is. Yeah, you do have to do it a little bit anticipatory, but let's see how early I can do it. So, okay, just a little bit before it hits me. Okay, and you can actually do a decent amount early, so like, okay, it's about to hit me, I can go for this. And I think if I go for the heavy version, you know, I'll travel further, so from around this distance. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how well that actually works out for me. And then there's one more thing about this, is that if you OD it, then it kind of gets this upper body invulnerability from physical attacks as well as projectiles. And as you can see, I mean, it just travels really far. So if I throw this out and the opponent's throwing any projectiles, I'll just flail all the way through, hit them with this kick, and just easily go for combo extensions afterwards with the drive rush. But yeah, it's only on the upper body, so if he does go for a crouching medium kick or a low poke or something, that will hit me. But what's kind of cool about this is if someone's mashing on something or like standing buttons or even a drive impact, this will just go through it. So if I like do this, whoops, OD version. So I'm doing some buttons into, excuse me. It just goes completely through a drive impact, which seems pretty cool. She has an option for just like completely going through drive impacts. So you can be going for this like, go for the feint, and if you do realize, oh crap, they didn't throw a projectile, they went for drive impact, well, you're fine, because drive impact hits decently up on your body, so you won't get clipped by it. The only thing you'll get clipped by is little lows or little throws. And I think we're finally done talking about the hit grab. Goodness me, let's move on. So now we've got these like twirling kicks, which look really, really cool, by the way. Can you please stop doing that? The light, medium, and heavy version are honestly pretty similar. They're just slightly slower than each other and do slightly different amounts of damage, I believe. Or maybe it's the exact same. Actually, the light one does more damage. And the medium one does the most. Okay, so it goes heavy, light, and then medium in terms of most damage. But they also have different amounts of knockdown. So the light one has 31 frames. This one has 34 frames, and this one has the most at 37 frames. So you get better knockdowns if you use the heavy one. And they all actually link after your little pokes, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. You don't have to be like, oh, I can only go from the light one here. They basically all connect after off of your pokes. That was the heavy version. So if I do want really good Oki for a dash in into some pressure or stuff, I'll go for the heavy one. But apparently, if I want the most damage, I should go for the medium one. That's interesting. I did not know that at all. And something about this is that it's also a very good anti-air. She's got a bunch of good anti-airs. But the thing about this one is, although it is her main anti-air, it is not a DP. It's not invincible to aerial attacks. It's just got a really good massive hitbox all around her. And it's not the fastest, like 9 frames is the fastest one, so you do have to use it a little bit early, but it is really good for just slashing them out of the air. And if you do go for the heavy version, as you can see, he's left twirling around in the air for a while. So you can actually extend into other special moves like this. I think you can even do it after this. Oops. No, only the heavy version. You can go into follow-up stuff. You can even go into itself again. It's just really good, and that gets you a lot of corner carry and a bunch of damage for a single anti-air. And if you do the OD version against an airborne opponent, they don't even have to be at the peak of their arc. You can go into your hit grab, which is really cool and leads to a bunch of damage for a simple anti-air. And keep in mind, the OD one is actually the fastest. So it's really quick, a lot easier to do on reaction, and leads into a combo into your hit grab that is just so cool. And this is the main anti-air I go for when I'm not just like, oh, just go for this one because it's easy in one button. So yeah, going for this OD thing, I highly recommend you trying it as much as you can. It's really good anti-air. And it obviously it's not just used for that. The main use of these is they're just the primary combo ender after your lights. So a few pokes will go into any of these, gets a good knockdown, so you can always get a dash in afterwards. Dash in, go for some strike throw, and by the time you've done that, you're basically straight in the corner thanks to the dash in and the corner carry from it. So they're really, really good for extending off of pokes. Like, you even use them as combo enders because you usually only get little light buttons in combo enders from stuff like this. So really, really good as a combo ender. You get a dash in, so it's a good knockdown and it's decent damage and connects off of anything. Super, super fun. And also consider the fact that the OD version is actually the fastest, which means she can easily go into this juggle starting one from literally any easy hit confirm. And the juggle starting one can link into more special moves. So she has a super, super easy time linking into this great, easy to hit confirm combo starter that it's the same special you're going to use anyways, but now you just OD it, and you can go into a level 1 super, which does, you know, a nice chunk of damage and leads you really good and close for going for the stuff we like going for. It's just really good that like any pokes, oh, instead of doing the regular version, I'm just going to do the OD and go for level 1 to get a little bit more damage here, and I'm left really close and I can just kill them now. It's really, really good. And I mean, yeah, it's one of her main combo extenders. In the corner, the combo trials have you doing a bunch of combos like this, which of course are possible and are really cool, but I haven't found myself going for them yet. Maybe I should. I just don't see them being too worth it meter-wise. Oh, level, okay, that's more worth it. Level 1 works there and it still does a massive chunk of damage. I'll go for that one. So, it can easily extend combos. As you can see, it can link into itself, like you can cancel into the light version afterwards, or you can go into any of these other kick specials, which we'll talk about in a second. This one leads to a lot of corner carry. You get a dash in and you're basically straight in the corner, even if you use this just from a few pokes. Dash in, we're in the corner. Time to go, baby. It's just really good. So it's great as an anti-air, great as a combo ender, and great as a combo extender. Goodness me, what does this move not have? And you can get it off of literally anything, even after you've done something like this, and you can like get this. You can just really freely go into extensions just because of this one move that is just an absolute baller and amazing move. It's super, super good. I think that's all I have to say. Now we've got down back kicks, which are more kick specials, and this one's actually extremely interesting as well. It's not an anti-air, but it's these 3 different types of kind of screw neutral specials. And it's a completely different, kind of like Jury's down forward kicks. It's completely different depending on what version you do. So this is the light version, this is the medium version, and this is the heavy version, right? Completely different. And they all have kind of quite distinct uses. So let's start with the most common one, is this. It's basically just a combo ender. You can technically use it in neutral because this thing reaches, like, look at that. The first hit hits from a step away from round start distance. So you can catch someone if Jamie's drinking or something. You can go, hey yo, don't do that. Especially considering my drive rush is a little slow. It might take me a bit of time to get over there. I can be like, hey yo, stop that right now. And then I get corner carry and I get to go for my, throw stuff. And as we talked about, it's a really good combo ender. After any time you get like a little bit of a launch, something like this, you can easily go into it, or even after like drive impact combos. Any kind of juggle super easily goes into this, and it leads to a great knockdown where you can get a dash in, and you're still hella plus in their face. So you can go for normals, go for throws, go for whatever you want, keep yourself safe by doing a little bit of a walk back before going for your throw. It's just a really good knockdown. And like we mentioned, you can get it off of basically anything thanks to this special move, easily linking into it. And you can also just do it off of things as well. It doesn't work off of your crouching light punch, but if you do go into your standing light punch, it will connect. You can actually just use it as its own combo ender if you like, which it's really good at. So that's basically that move. It's your most damaging combo ender to use in most situations, if it's just some kind of simple juggle or combo ender. Go for this, got a great knockdown, great damage, and great corner carry. Now the light version is a little bit more gimmicky. It's this long-reaching, double-hitting low slide, where she just spins around on the floor. It reaches really far, like a few steps away from round start distance, or maybe just a little step. And as you can see, it sweeps the opponent, hits them to the floor, so it really acts like a sweep as well, and keeps them right at your feet, so you can go for your strike throw and stuff right as they wake up. And it's just a really good way of catching your opponent off guard, because, when you're in neutral, people, walking back, doing stuff like this, they're not often just randomly crouching, so throwing this long-reaching low out catches a lot of people. But the reason it's so good, and you have to be careful of it, is it is certainly punishable. It's not without its own risks. So you can't just throw this out and expect it to be a, hey, I win neutral now. You have to use it when you really think, he's really doing some walkie back stuff or something. Let me just go for this and see if it catches him. Because if it works, it's really good. You're in, you're close, you've knocked them down. It's time for you to do your juicy stuff. But if it doesn't work, you're kind of dead. Very punishable and left very close to the opponent. They can just do whatever optimal combo they like. So be careful, but it is kind of good. And you can also use it as a combo ender. After this, both of the hits will connect pretty consistently, so if you do want to stay close to the opponent, maybe if I use this one and I'm over here, I don't like them being pushed that kind of far away. Maybe if they do a back roll or something, it's a little bit annoying for me. So maybe I can use this one as a combo ender. It does a little bit less damage, but as you can see, it leaves me a lot closer. I don't even need to go for a dash in to get good Oki. So even if they roll back, I can just do a dash and I'll still be plus. So yeah, it's kind of just a risky screw neutral low, and it can also be used technically in combos. Now the heavy version is actually also a version you're going to be using quite a lot. It is a surprisingly strong tool for something that looks like a super gimmicky, corny move. So it is this leaping overhead that reaches from round start distance, I think basically exactly round start distance, a tiny step backwards. So basically the same as the low, but it's this long reaching overhead that's only 20 frames. So when you're in mix-ups, 20 frames is considered just barely reactable, but in neutral, this is unreactable, I'm sorry. So the opponent has to expect this to be coming to block the overhead, and considering the fact that there's this low, they're gonna be really like, oh, which one? So it's really good. A long-reaching overhead, your left +3, so depending on how close you are, you can go for a throw afterwards, and they're probably not gonna be able to mash you out. So that's just really good and crazy. And this move gets even better with a bunch of other things that you take into account. So let's get him to block it. So if I do a button into it, I'm -9. And as you can see from this distance, oh, that's kind of bad. Maybe he could punish me with his, like, a long-reaching, crouching heavy kick or something. But if I use it from over here, -9 is nothing. Nothing. That's like, that's completely safe from this distance. There is so much pushback on this move, and it reaches so damn far that you can throw this thing out in neutral, and it is safe. It is safe. If the opponent does think they can punish it and they try to do some big reaching thing, I might just drive impact them back and beat them up for it. It is so long reaching, so safe, and so ridiculous. So you're going to be throwing this out kind of a lot. Whenever you think you have space that, you know, maybe they're not throwing it, projectile or something, just throw this out. See if they're ready to block overhead. And if they're not, well then they get hit. And even if they are, you're totally safe. You know, I'm just testing you. Which means because you're using this so often, that this low actually becomes far more useful. Because, you know, it's kind of like a weird thing that like, well, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But it works far more considering the fact that we have this awesome overhead that you're just going to be abusing most of the match. So this low is actually a proper threat and something the opponent probably isn't going to be looking out for when they're looking out for this stupid overhead. So that's already ridiculous. A long, super long reaching overhead that leaves you plus on hit to go for strike throw and safe on block as long as you space it out kind of consistently. But it doesn't end there. No, no, no. I'm a big fan of saying that line recently for some reason. That's not all. I should become a salesman. Look what happens if I OD this move. You get the overhead kick and it gets more plus frames. And as you can see, it becomes +6, which means I can just combo off of it. Easy peasy. So I can throw this out in neutral, and depending on how far I am, I can just get a light kick, get a combo ender, and just start my game from this one YOLO overhead. And not only does it make the frames better on hit, but also on block, you know, it's -9, it's practically safe because of all the pushback. OD, -3. Completely safe, even if you use it right in their goddamn face. What? That is ridiculous. So if you do use it slightly spaced out, and the opponent thinks that they might be able to punish it, you can just go for a throw, and just catch their button, get a punish counter throw that'll do a bunch more damage. This move is just crazy, guys. OD version, totally safe, leads to combos, and also it gains the property of being airborne for longer. See this grounded version, if I have him set to go for a block reversal, like a crouching medium kick or something. If he hits me, oh wait, no, that's not going to be fast enough. Let's do a crouching light punch. So if I do something into this, whoops, that's not right. As you can see, when he hits me out of it, the regular version, I'm still kind of on the floor because it does technically have a few aerial frames, but it's only like 2 or 3. So most of the time when you get hit out of it, you know, you're going to be on the floor. Which also means that if the opponent goes for drive impact through it, it's going to be bad, of course. Drive impact is always bad, but particularly bad. Oops. So I get punished, and then they get a big grounded combo. But the OD version, you have far more aerial frames, so that depending on what you do, and if you go for this, the opponent is most of the time gonna drive impact you, and if you do it on their drive impact, if they get the big splat, you're most of the time gonna be in the air, which, you know, people don't get nearly as good combos when they get an aerial drive impact. Most people actually drop their combos when they get an airborne drive impact. So going for this means it's kind of safer to drive impacts because they're gonna get a crappy combo afterwards. It makes it safer against crouching medium kicks and stuff because it's airborne for far longer and it'll just go under them. I think Giles is actually too slow if I get him to do a crouching light kick. But other characters like Jamie I tested this with, and if he does his crouching medium kick, it just goes completely over it. So as you can see there, I get a punish counter, and combining the punish counter with the OD gives me a total of plus 11 frames on hit. So if I use it in situations like this, well, you know what we're gonna do. Go into our biggest combo ender that builds up our medals and gets us a nice knockdown, and you're just winning. So this thing is honestly something you're going to be abusing so much, as far as I'm aware. Either in neutral, where, you know, it's basically safe, or totally safe if you use the OD version. If they get hit by it, you are able to go into for combos, and you can also use it after your own buttons. So if I use it like excuse me. Hello? If I use it after my pokes, it just goes completely over the opponent, the regular version. Something to mention, if I get someone with, here, crouching light punch, they can punch out of this, and you'll be interrupted. But most characters crouching light punches or stuff will go under the OD version, or you'll be airborne, and as you can see, they don't really get to get anything off of it, so it makes it kind of safer. But if you use it off of any kind of mediums or stuff, depending on what the opponent's button is, sometimes it kind of works better. But as you can see, you get knocked out of the air. Stuff like that, trades. It is so ridiculous. And if they do anything that's like any kind of crouching medium kick or crouching light kick, it will just straight up beat them. So you have to pay attention to what your opponent is pressing when they're mashing on you, because if they're not using high hitting things that'll hit you out of this giant ballet flip kick, they are going to perish real hard, because you'll be able to abuse this so damn much. So I recommend you try that out. See how much you can abuse this, just to truly understand the full power. Because yeah, okay, it's a safe overhead, that's pretty overpowered. But when you actually try and see how much you can abuse this thing, it's ridiculous. So crazy. So crazy. Even if I don't do the OD version, and I get this, and I get some kind of counter hit off of it, I can use the counter hit plus frames to go into my standing light kick, so I don't even need to do the OD version. Oh, okay, and on a clash or a trade, it still will convert. It's just next level. So damn cool. It's ridiculous. And I can even OD that for a combo. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, shut up. I don't have anything else to talk about. Particularly considering the fact that she doesn't have anything safe on block. Like this is super unsafe. Even the feint is unsafe. This is kind of unsafe if you use it close to them. Of course, your command grabs are not safe. And, you know, all of these low kicks, this stuff is totally unsafe. Most of the time, you're just going to be pressing buttons into each other, kind of staggering in for your throws, which is really good. But having something that you can actually cancel into and, like, catch them doing stuff is just so good. I love this move so much. It's so degenerate. I love it. I love it. Okay. And I think that is all of our special moves. I finally finished talking about them. Whoopsie, sorry. Can you tell I'm slightly passionate about this character? I think she's really cool. Yeah, let me just check. Okay, that is all of her special moves. There's only 4 of them, but somehow I managed to talk that long about them. So let's go through the super moves a little bit faster. Level 1, down forward kick is your, is this kind of really good slide. I say really good because you can use it to react to things. Reaches really far and travels super fast, so you can get a lot of counters from if the opponent does something from afar, like once again Jamie drinking or someone trying to do some charge up like Lily or Honda. You can catch them with this by leaping at them instead of doing something like this. But also it really easily connects off of your OD launcher and leaves you at this really awesome position. As you can see, depending on where you hit the opponent, you kind of either get a cross up, or if it's really far away, like you'll be kind of left like right in front of them, depending on where it is. And in the corner, it's actually really good. It doesn't cross them up at all, so you don't get thrown into the corner, which is super good to know. So you get to get this super and you don't throw yourself in the corner. But mid-screen, it's really good. So if I do these little pokes... Oh, that is not what I meant to do. As you can see, I'm left in the perfect position to go for a throw right as I wake up. And it's +7, so I actually always go for the medium throw there, just to catch them right after I go for my super. There's no way they're expecting that. And also, it's the perfect position to go for this really good attack string we were talking about. Back medium kick, medium kick. So you're the perfect range, and they can't interrupt this. You're +7, and this is 10 frames, so they can't mash out of this. So you get to go for this awesome mix-up, pressuring target combo that we talked about a lot before. And yeah, it's just really good. So I think this is the super that I use the most. Level 2 super is down back kick, and the game says it's really good as an anti-air, which I guess it is. It has a great hitbox, and of course it's invincible, and it has a down back input, so you can kind of be buffering it safely in like this half blocking state, and then go for this if you see the opponent jump, which is kind of good. Yeah, and it is a lot easier of an anti-air than some other supers, especially if you have to buffer down forward. So that's kind of cool, but where I find myself using this the most is after this. So when I do this heavy punch into like try to hit confirm the follow-up, instead of holding just down back, which is a good option, I'm actually just buffering down back because, you know, most of these inputs are going to be like a blocking state, so you can kind of be doing this, and it gives me something to do while I'm waiting to see if it reacts. Oh wait, okay, it hit them? Cool, let me just press the punch button. But if it doesn't hit them, then, you know, I just hold down back and take back, or, you know, block. But if something weird happens, like they go for a drive impact, or I don't know, something strange, I can easily confirm it and just press kick instead. And then I go for this level 2 because it's actually cancelable into supers. So if the opponent does a drive impact and I don't want to die, I just go into this super. Or if I notice, oh, they have low life, let me just actually kill him with this instead of just doing the vacuum into a throw, which, you know, I'm praying that the opponent gets hit by the throw. It just gives me something to do when I throw this out, and you can also cancel it really late. I just like the follow-up, you can also delay it, the cancel, kind of. As you see that was a little bit later. You don't have to instantly press the button. But yeah, I like this. It gives me something to do while I'm, you know, waiting to press the extra punch button, and if it does connect and I do have a reason to go for it, I can just go for my level 2 and get a nice little chunk of damage, easy peasy. Really similarly to how Luke does his hit confirms off of his medium punch attack string. And then level 3 is technically a throw, but I don't believe that it is actually a frame 1 throw. Yeah, 6 frames. So the opponent can't jump after this. I don't know. I also don't really know how to test it. I'll put in the comments after I've figured it out afterwards whether it's actually a frame 1 throw, because like Zangief, he has to do this like full double 360 input, and his level 3 is actually a throw. So after that animation comes on the screen, the throw just comes out and the opponent is instantly hit by it. But Manon and Lily, who also have throws, don't have that same ability, I believe. But, you know, you can cancel it off of your special moves. You can also cancel off of your hit grab, like the very first moment of it. And that's kind of the most common way of going into it. And you can see, you know, it leads into combos. It does a big chunk of damage. Also, you can cancel the first hit of your, like, spinning kick. Nope. The second hit, let me just show that, will not work because it doesn't hit them. So you have to do it off of the first hit. So you can also easily get it off of your lights. And it just looks amazing, so of course you're going to use it whenever you can. And okay, I think that is all of Manon's actual moves. Goodness me, I'm sorry. I really like this character and I like to talk about everything we can. But I'm just going to quickly go over her combos that we're going to be going for and her general game plan. So combos off of our lights. We can link together 3 lights most of the time, or sometimes, but most of the time it's only going to be about 2. So I'm only going to aim for doing 2 buttons into this like OD down back kick into the down forward kick, sorry, to get the launcher, and then down back medium kick to get the corner carry and a nice knockdown to go for more strike throw in the corner. And of course I don't have to spend meter on it either way. I can just do the medium down forwards kick and it's still a great knockdown, and I don't have to spend meter on it, and it's super easy to hit confirm. And if I do the OD version, that's a great time. I can just be like, oh, I want to spend a super, and it puts me in a great position. So we'll use that as well. Standing medium punch is a button we're going to be using a lot, just because of, you know, it has really good hitbox and pretty decent decent frame data, even after drive rushes and stuff. But after it, I don't really go for too much unless I drive rush it, because drive rushing it, you know, keeps it safer on blocks, safe to drive impacts. And then we use the same drive rush combos we've been doing off of basically anything. It's just drive rush into crouching medium punch, back heavy punch, into medium grab. Hit grab, that is, not the command grab. So any kind of thing I can drive rush cancel, I'll just go into the simple combo. Nothing too ridiculous, but it's an easy combo and it builds up my metal and it is a pretty okay knockdown where I can reach for my heavy punch. Speaking of, I'm not going to get huge combos off of this, but obviously we've got the game plan where we go into the heavy command grab afterwards, or just 2 pokes into the same situation we were talking about before. Same applies if I do the follow-up after this. After I hit confirm it and get that on hit, I can go into the pokes. Or if they block the pokes, I can also go for like the pokes into another throw. For some more cheeky strike throw. Yeah, so we've got a drive rush combo with this. We've got some little easy light confirms. We've got, yeah, drive rush goes off of that as well, and you just hit confirm off of all these target combos. Off of our anti-airs, if the opponent is in the air, we've got this 1-button anti-air that is really good for splatting me onto the ground and has a really good hitbox, and it's, you know, just 1 button, so I can do this super easily, and it puts me in a great situation where I can go for super easy buttons, strike throws, whatever. And I can also use this wheel kick if I'm a little bit more preemptive, then I can get an easy combo afterwards. Or I can do a later wheel kick, but use the EX, and it actually combos into the throw, which is really good. Also, I mean, yeah, those are kind of the main combos we need to know. Buttons into that, buttons into OD that, can either go into an ender or a super. Target combos into each other to go for strike throw, and the strike throw leads into the same combo routes. Anytime we get this, we're just going to go into a standing light kick, into that ender. It actually can combo off of this. Like, I get a jump in and go for this. This actually combos, which is kind of cool. So I can use that on hit or on block, because even if they do end up blocking it, then I'm just -3, and I get to go for a mix-up overhead, so I'll do that a bunch. And yeah, that's basically every extension we have, apart from Drive Impact. If we're in the corner and he gets splatted against the wall, we can kind of go for this kind of thing, where you do a backwards heavy punch into the heavy kick, wheel kick, and that actually juggles them high enough to go for this ender afterwards, even though you can't usually do that without EXing, so we'll go for that. I think if it's a regular Drive Impact, that won't work, because if they're on the ground, unless I do a dash in, because if you do a late combo after it, they get put in the air. Yeah, so I can still do that mid-screen as well, but I think most of the time, honestly, just go into a command grab. It does a nice chunk of damage, you can't mess it up, and it builds up my metal gauge. It's kind of what we're aiming for. There are also tricky stuff we can go for, like drive rush into a stuff like this, and then drive rush again. I don't think we'll aim for that today. Oh yeah, you can do something like this, but once again, I don't think we'll go for this. You can do funky stuff like that, but yeah, let's just go for a throw, because it does similar damage, honestly, and is far easier, and will guarantee our increase in metal stock. And then when we're playing in neutral, you know, walking back and forward, if I am around this distance, I can always be thinking about going for a light or an OD grab, just because they're so fast, it either will catch the opponent blocking, or honestly, like, be faster than their buttons, and you get a punish counter and it'll be a ton of damage. Also around this range, you know, we've got a great crouching light kick, standing medium kick, standing heavy punch, medium punch and heavy punch are both really, really good for just buffering into, canceling into combos. And you know, heavy punch, we're gonna hit confirm into the suck in, like we mentioned. Off of a punish counter, we'll do crouching medium punch, and then just use that extra hit stun to go into this combo ender that we've been doing all the time anyways. So we just get to get it for free without a drive rush this time, which is kind of cool. And I mean, if we get this as a punish counter, I remember the combo trial said I can do something like this. So that's cool, I guess. And then also in neutral, we're going to be doing a lot of this, a lot of this, a few of this, some of this, some of this, and, you know, obviously a lot of this, fishing, and then some of this. Anyways, I think that's all we need to know in order to play Manon, and let's just go try her out online, because a lot of stuff like these grappler game plans, you really just have to feel it out, like what works where am I plus enough to just go for a throw again, and just keep looping stuff over and over. Yeah, we've got hit confirms, we've got simple combos, that's all we need. Let's try her out online. Okay, I've got ranked and casual on, just so we find matches pretty quickly. Maybe if we get a casual set, we can make it a little longer. Oh, okay. New character up first, Honda. I don't think I've fought against any Hondas yet in any of the sets I've played. Ouch, just snapped my chair in half again, as I do. Okay, let's see what we can do. It might look a little bit crazy and frantic, because that's what I am. Hey! He threw me out of my throw? That is rude. Where's the respect? Oh, yeah, oops. Okay, well, modern controls on Honda, there's a lot of special moves coming out. Maybe let's just make sure we practice our punish counters and stuff, depending on what he does. Okay, we've got a lot of levels up. Okay, he's getting hit by a lot of stuff, I like it. Okay, I like it. I love looping the same thing over and over again. It prevents me from having to think. So I appreciate anyone that lets me do that. Oh, that's kind of safe from that distance, huh? Oh, okay, I didn't actually hit confirm that. Whoopsie. Build our gauge. No! Too far. How much will this kill? Oh, nearly. Damn, bro. Her buttons are so good. Actually, that was a little bit silly of me. I forgot to mention, after you get a grab or command grab, you can't actually go for a dash in because you'll be left at minus. So you can't go for a dash in into buttons. You have to do a drive rush because you can cancel that earlier, or just do a walk forwards. Oh, okay, nice. Nice. He's got his throws too. Oops, that was a little bit silly, huh? No! Ah! I messed up the combo and he drive impacted me at the same time. Bad luck. Okay, I can actually use a lot of super meter now. I haven't used any yet. Oh, he rolled out of the way. Oh my god, he's just mashing on that. Okay. Okay, calm down. At least it's at the beginning of the rounds and I didn't die because of that. We've been hella salty. That put me in burnout. This guy's madman. Oh, I don't know how. Yeah. I guess I could have been dialing into my level 2. Okay. Just mash, just mash, just mash, just mash. Luckily, her crouching buttons are quite good. Wow, locals are unstoppable. So you can just press them into each other and stuff, and they've got decent frame data, so you'll be safe or plus on hit. Oh, I don't know what that was. Totally the wrong button is what it was. There we go, the classic overhead we were talking about. Into the throw. This is Manon, people. If you're in, and you're doing your loops. And if you're from afar, you're an absolute psychopath throwing out highs and lows. I appreciate him not jumping out of this. Oh, damn it, that doesn't combo into itself? That kind of sucks. Okay. And he let us get a nice, awesome combo at the end. How generous of you, Honda. Okay. successful first set. I think we'll find a new opponent now, and maybe we'll just make it ranked to make the stakes a little bit higher.
Here comes a new challenger.
Ryu? Who's playing Ryu after all these betas and the demo? Good on you. Character loyalty, I suppose. Sleep, look down on you. She's got a lot of sassy as hell intros. Should I just start with the slide again? So stupid, but I love it. What you doing there, bro? Ow. Yeah, man, that heavy kick gets me killed every time. I don't know why I went for it then. Oh, damn it. Okay. Okay. Build up the medals. Hit him with the overhead. Get some more medals. And get our 4th medal with the throw. Okay, nearly up to level 5 from the first round. That is a good sign. That's a good feeling. Whoops, a little bit too YOLO, huh? Ah, no! Oh my goodness, and I have no meter. Whoa, okay, bro. No, he jumped. Why is he doing such random jumps? Maybe I should do those flying double kicks. That might catch someone out of the air quite a lot, huh? Oh, it caught him that time. Man, I don't know why I keep using jump light punch. It's like not useful for anything. Basically, he had 2 base jump-ins, or medium kick and heavy kick, just like most characters, honestly. I don't know why I did that. I wonder what the frame data is like if they're in burnout. It's still -5 or something, so you're not going to be plus at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to shut up and not just press random buttons. Damn it. No, he was too low. Ah! Thank you. I love a down back invincible super. Some of the other characters I play, like Jury and Jamie, the only down back super they have are the stupid installs, so I can't mash on that while I'm blocking to go for an invincible, because it'll just give me a random install. Okay, he neutral jumped again. I should have gone for the same thing I did last time. Ooh, not that. Oh, nice. I thought I was just gonna get punish countered. Ouch. Yeah, I woke up mashing. The thing with this character, having no OD reversal makes me mash even more than I usually do. Hey, what? I couldn't cancel into my... Oh, my... What? Okay. Let's shut up and do fine. Ouch, no, that was too risky! Oh, am I dead from this? I swear. Okay, thank goodness. I feel like he wants to jump. Oh, not that way. Yes! Oh, we knew it! And we got the cool conversion. Love it. We're back in the game. Okay, that doesn't catch a forwards jump at all. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I do have this grab. And I do have this anti-air level 2. Okay. I think I'm starting to put together all the pieces now. When I was first playing with Manon, you know, trying to grab, oh, they're jumping. Oh, what's going on? My buttons don't feel so good. But now, with all these grabs I'm getting, it makes the opponent go into the air, and then you can anti-air them with the level 2 super, because... Okay, I think I'm getting the grappler mindset, guys. I think I know about this glue-eating dopamine rush you're talking about. Because I could just tell he was going to jump. From the amount of throws I was doing, it's like, no way he's not peeing his pants from being on the floor anymore. So then I could just be dialing in my level 2 the whole time, and as soon as he jumps, bam. Instant level 2 anti-air. That's pretty cool.
Here comes a new
Chun-Li? Guys, where's the Marissas and the Lily and the Camis? I thought everyone would be Cami in day 1. Ho 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 ho. Ready? Then show me. Let's start with the overhead this time. Oh no! Okay, did I just reverse hit confirm that? I didn't do it when they got hit, but I did do it when they blocked. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why. I was like, maybe I can jump over projectiles. I certainly cannot. Thank you, ma'am. Will this kill? Hey! Oh, I waited too long just thinking about will it kill. But it didn't even combo. Okay, that was a little bit of a silly round. I was trying to think about some new stuff and it just got me killed. Oh. Don't know why I did that, but I'm glad it worked. No, ma'am. Okay, we've got level 4. Oh, level 5. Okay, cool. Cool. And she's doing a lot of blocking after my Oki, so I think I should go for some throws now. She's being a little bit too respectful, and I don't like that. Oh my god. Don't mash me out of my grabs. Don't crash me out of my grabs, please. No! Ouch! Drive impact kills me. I wasn't dialing into level 2 that time. No, I was too obsessed with the fact that she was blocking a lot. But, yeah, okay. I got too fishy. I wanted to grab a lot, and I ended up just losing to regular attacks. That's the thing, you can't get too addicted to the grab, or else your gameplay is just gonna make no sense. You can be doing random stuff and just really fishing for something that's not gonna happen. You have to make sure you represent the grab as an option, but still play the game properly and don't get just mashed on like an idiot. Is this combo? Oh, nice! Ouch. Nice. That's when we grab. Oh no, I meant to do the overhead one, but I did the wrong direction. There we go. Still works. Can't believe I haven't been using more of that. That's my favorite move. People always play so defensively at round start against Manon. They're like, please don't hit me with your overhead low mix-ups. Oh, I tried to dash in and go for a throw, but the dash was a little too slow. Ah, nice. Oh my god. Oh, it doesn't reach. Why am I using jump? Why am I still using jump light punch as a jump in? Does this punish it? Yes. Okay. We were a little bit silly, funky, stupid at the start, but as soon as I shut up and wasn't mashing throw constantly, we did pretty okay. Okay, this is the final match, the decider. Got the punish counter. She's grappling me? Oh, nice. Actual punish on that. No. Okay. Keep it simple, keep it calm. I just really have to pay attention to what her reactions to what I'm doing is. Otherwise, you know, I'm just making choices in a void, not based on any real reasoning. Damn it, that was meant to be a grab. Oh! Out of here. Wait, why didn't I go for level 3? That would have been far cooler. But we still got it. Nice. Okay, I'm starting to feel, I mean, maybe you won't agree, judging by what you're watching, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more solid and less psycho noob chainsaw man that's just throwing out random mix that's super unsafe and just like praying that I get throws. Now I feel like I'm actually pressing buttons where buttons are actually gonna hit and going for throws in a situation where I think my opponent is actually just gonna be sitting and blocking. Or are you to finish it off? Let's see how this goes. A German Ryu. Should we be crazy or should we be fundamentalist? Let's be a mix. Because I feel like that's the right, ow, that's the right option. Okay, he gets hit by the throws after that. That's good to pay attention to. I think doing this, even though it does a little bit less damage, it builds me more super meter, so maybe I should go for that a bit more. Oh, nice, okay. He's doing the Shoto. He's doing the Shoto stuff. Ow. Maybe I should have landed and done a level 1. Maybe that's too crazy. That's too crazy. Speaking of crazy, though. Okay, he's doing some weird stuff. Bro, what? I, for some reason, cannot cancel into my down forward kicks after my lights for the life of me. There we go. No! Oh, that's so bad. And I tried to mash on my level 1, it didn't work, and I'm totally dead. I am somehow not dead, but I'm... Okay. My level 1 still didn't come out? Guess my mashing isn't even enough. Alright, alright. Next round. We don't get worried that he's throwing projectiles. Blocking a projectile means basically nothing in this game. It's a little bit of less drive gauge. I can parry it if I want. Or I can do that and totally flop. I should make sure I anti-air him as well. Oh, nice. Ouch.
This is my chance. An opening.
Okay. Stay calm. Hit confirm, and we're okay. Even though I didn't get every hit confirm, but I got some of them. That's all that matters. Ouch. Oh, not ouch. And it's a punish counter. Thanks for the damage, bro. Thanks for the damage, bro. I'll take that as well. It's not going to kill, but I've got a lot of drive gauge. And now yours is going to be a bunch lower as well. Okay, okay. No! I missed the throw. Okay, don't be silly. Don't try and go for the throws. Just try and win. Or just let him do that. Thanks, bro. Couldn't have done it without you. Come on, we should be able to win without relying on his mistakes, though. That's not the sign of us being good. That's the sign of him just making an oopsie. I wish that went under projectiles, but that would just be too ridiculous. Ow! It's a really good button. No! Okay, that spinning kick, I'm trying to use the heavy version because you get cool conversions off of it, but it's kind of slow, and if the opponent jumps close to you, it really doesn't work so well. Nice. Oh, and that burnt me out, so I couldn't throw a drive impact after. Oh, okay. This is getting rough. This is getting rough. Oh my god, and I'm not going out of burnout the whole time we're in this stupid animation. Come on, Blake it. Yes! Oh! Yes, 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 yes. I just died to a drive impact. No, I thought that would have been an awesome comeback. But alas, we were too YOLO and not enough try hard. And we got flopped. Okay, well, such a close blue ball victory. I think we have to do one more match, right? This is going to be the longest Let's Learn I've ever done. But hey, it's for a good cause. It's for Manon. Matchup, please. Hello? What's everyone doing here? Do people actually interact with each other? Are they just standing here? Oh, wait, are they actually fighting? What is this?
challenger.
Okay, well, I guess that's kind of fitting. Have the ultimate villain as the last opponent. That is, unless we get our ass absolutely handed to us, then it's a very unsatisfying end. We'll see. Okay, nice. Oh, ouch. Okay. I see, I see. No! Ow! Drive impact. Very owie. Now I'm far away. Very low meter, so I don't want to block too much. Ouch, ouch. Oh, that was silly. No, I tried to go for throw there, but I messed up the input somehow. No! I think it would have worked as well. Damn it. Ow. Okay, he didn't punch me. Thanks, bro. Bro, I don't want to chase you down this whole time. Ow, ow, ow. Yes. Okay, we got the round, and we're up to level 5. But let's not get too command grab happy, because that's how we end up dying a lot. Oh my god, this guy. No, silly, silly, silly. Silly again. See, I'm getting command grab happy. What? A throw from there? Okay, whatever. No! Wrong. I keep doing down back instead of down forward and vice versa. Oh yes, we did it. We were patient, we survived the zoning, and we did a YOLO drive impact in the corner, and that's how you win Street Fighter 6, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that wasn't the last match, was it? We have to do another one. Crap, oh, that was the first one. Felt like the years of my life gone. Oh, hey man, thought you were gonna do something. Ouch. Okay, okay, we did the Manon stuff. We did strike throw until he died. That's all we need to do. Keep him there. No! I didn't get... I tried to punish counter with it. Oh yeah! Oh my god! We just won that. We just won that. After struggling so hard the first match, then we just go bam, perfect KO. That's it. That's the sign. We've learned Manon. We have learned Yes. We learned Manon. God. So good at this. I'm so good at this. It only took me about 7 hours. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching now, thank you so very beyond much. That's really awesome. And very kind of you. Anyways, I'll do the outro. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever's next. Bye.